Perspectives, Finding Common Ground, a podcast series that brings together a panel of thought leader perspectives as a forum to socialize and problem solve education technology issues with the goal to ultimately find common ground.
Hello, I'm Patrick Devaney, and welcome to this episode of Perspectives, Finding Common Ground. We're joining you today from South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, and we're here to celebrate innovation. I've got three wonderful guests with me today to talk about innovation and how it's changing education, talking about what we're doing today and what we might be doing tomorrow. I'm going to start by allowing them to introduce themselves, and I guess we'll start with you, Cori. You can identify who you are and what your perspective is on innovation.
Hi, my name is Cori Coburn. I'm the manager of educational technology support at Austin Community College District. We're in the Austin area. We have 11 campuses across the metro area.
Great. Thank you very much. Barbara.
Hi, I'm Barbara Bray. I'm a coach, a consultant, author, podcaster, and innovation. I'm trying to keep up with it.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? Indeed.
And Guy.
Yeah, I'm Guy Kawasaki. I'm Chief Evangelist of Canva, and I'm host of the Remarkable People podcast. And right now, I'm here because I released a new book called Think Remarkable. And here come the Golden Girls.
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about innovation. And Barbara, I'm going to start with you if I could. What do you see happening with innovation? Is it happening faster? Is it happening more organized, or is it even more chaotic than it ever has been?
Well, I hope it's chaotic because I think that we need to give people the opportunities to be inspired where they are. And we need to look at education as a place to give these beautiful young learners time to really think out of the box and think about things that could happen and imagine the future because it's their future. The issue I see is that it's very difficult in schools for them to do that. So I will do anything I can to help teachers, leaders, and kids be able to have time to innovate and be creative.
Fantastic. What has changed over the last decade, in your opinion? I mean, innovation always, to me, it always feels like we're pushing people beyond their comfort zone. But how has that changed? Is it gotten more? Has it gotten slower? Certainly not. But
well, in some places it's gotten slower and they're going backwards.
Yeah. In
some places some teachers are just amazing, even though they have pacing guides and all this other stuff. I'm in awe of educators and what they can do, but I'm in awe of the learners when you give them time and space and the resources to create anything. I mean, they're amazing if we would just let go. And so what I saw is people were doing it before, and then there was one child left behind that told them no, and we did it anyway. But there was a lot of people that were brought up in that time, and that's all they knew. And
Right.
So now we have to change, teacher ed. We have to change things so we can get them to be more free.
So I want to take this conversation about changing the change. Kind of, innovation is about change, and things are happening even faster. And I want you to weigh in on the whole aspect of artificial intelligence, AI, and what does that really mean?
I think that
innovation?
AI is the biggest change factor we have seen in several generations. And I think it's to the credit of educators that they have seen the light so quickly and embraced it. AI, large language models, ChatGPT, etc., they are a great equalizer. And if you take an extreme case, like if you had students with dyslexia and with AI, they are empowered to write as good as anybody can write, right? And so I think it's a great leveler. It's not to be feared. It's a great tool that's to be embraced. And, I don't really have any financial bets on this market, right? It's just, I am a writer and I use these large language models and grammar checkers and all this every day. And it has made me 2 or 3 times better a writer. And as a writer, I just came out with this book, Think Remarkable. I feel my moral obligation is to write the best book I can for my reader, which is different than the best book I can without using any technology. Because when you're a reader, you don't care if guy rub 2 sticks together or I use ChatGPT. All you care about is getting the information and inspiration. And that's my moral obligation.
So what I hear you saying is a lot of people look at using these tools and they think, oh, you're cheating, or oh, you're doing something that's not really you. Your perspective, what I'm hearing from you is, I'm doing it. I'm leveraging that to make myself even better in what I'm contributing.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like saying to a chef, you can only use a knife. Well,
right. Forget about seasoning, right?
Well, no, not even that. But you can only use a knife. Well, how about using a food processor? I mean, if you are consuming the chef's meal, do you care if everything was cut with a knife or the chef used a Cuisinart, a food processor, a convection oven? What do you care as long as it tastes good? And that's the way you should approach AI.
So when it comes to innovation, it's about taking advantage of all the pieces that you have out there.
I'm telling you, innovation and writing and teaching, it's so competitive. You gotta do whatever you can do.
Right. Now, Cori she has students in college, and they're there to learn. And how does education take this and leverage it to teach the right message? It's not saying, oh, go take advantage of somebody or tools that are there in a bad way, but use them to make you better, right?
Well, I think we're at the beginning of this revolution.
Yes, we are.
So we don't really know, but we can have all the conversations we like about, is it good or bad? Is it cheating or not? But I hate to tell you, those horses are out of the corral and they are procreating. We ain't going to stop this. So I think if you don't teach your students how to use AI today, it's a significant disadvantage for them. They're going to be behind. It would be like saying we're not going to teach our students how to use computers because that's an unfair advantage. They should stick to manual typewriters.
Unfortunately, Guy has to leave us now. We were so blessed to have you with us today. We appreciate it. And hopefully we'll have you again sometime soon.
If you can give me more time. I have a little bit more wisdom.
You have a lot more wisdom. I'm sure you do.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Nice being with you all.
Cheers. So I want to follow up on Guy's thoughts a little bit and talk about AI. And Barbara, you had some thoughts, I think, on that with innovation.
Well, one of the things that I love what Guy said, AI is here to stay. And so we might as well learn to live with it and don't be afraid of it. But one of the things I found, it's more like a thinking buddy with me. And I'm just going to do one real fun one. Is someone gave me PI.ai. It's an empathetic AI. And that one was, I needed to write a message to my doctor. So I gave the AI, that PI.ai, my information, and it wrote back, "Dearest Barbara, it sounds to me like you are having this issue with," and I went, oh my gosh, it's a therapist. It's an AI therapist. So it is changing. It's starting to feel and give you information. I have a book. Actually, I have 4 books, but my latest book is Grow Your Why. And one of the things that I needed is, how do I incorporate some of the AI to help some of the stories? Because I have other people's stories and they're having trouble getting the point across. So I actually used AI, ChatGPT, and shared it with the author, and they were able to manipulate it the way they wanted, but it really helped them. So it's there to help you, and it's going to always be there. So we need to learn how to use it.
It's a little bit of humor. What does an empathetic hallucination look like, or isn't that the term when AI gets something wrong?
It could be, but it was perfect. I actually copied and pasted and gave it to my doctor, and he checked in with me the next day. He was right on it because I must have written the right things,
So I want to turn to you, Cori, and you've got some really creative people that love to use technology, love to try new things and advance our options, find new ways. Yet you're trying to keep an institution running. You're trying to keep the technology working and all the systems that are in play. What does this do to you in your world and the support that you have to provide to your college?
I think for me, it's just more inspiration because higher ed doesn't just cater to those finishing K-12, but those who are trying to further themselves in their career or gain basic knowledge as an adult learner. And there's so many innovative things going in K-12.
Mm-hmm.
And then those students get sent to college and there's kind of a gap there. And college usually has the funds, but the bureaucracy keeps us from adopting more innovative things. And when you go to K-12, they usually don't have the bureaucracy, but they have the funds. So they're getting more innovative things. So it's like, how do we bridge that gap? How do we help each other? Because it's all about the learning and knowledge and skill of the students. There's a lot of things going on already in K-12. How can we get that into higher ed? And how can higher ed contribute to the growth of students in K-12 using this innovation that is already there?
Fascinating. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say that there's more innovation in K-12, but now that you say it, I have to say there probably is. There's part of it is the higher ed is much more of a business, and it's about making money, and there's a focus on making money, not about necessarily doing things better. And I know my kids, when I went through, I wondered why hadn't this changed that much from when I went many, many years ago.
Because you can go to K-12 classroom and the kids are doing project-based learning. They're creating, they're researching, their videos, posters, media, desktop publishing. They're doing all that. Graduate, you go to college, you have to give a presentation. It has to be a PowerPoint presentation. That is how you do it. That is the only way acceptable, and the teacher's going to grade that. But they have video production skills. They have Adobe editing skills. They have AI now that can write the whole script for the PowerPoint. So where's the innovation in just doing a PowerPoint presentation without being able to use all these wonderful tools that are now so easily accessible?
Yeah. Barbara, you had
Well, I'm excited about something because I'm seeing that there could be a possibility of partnering with K-12, higher ed, partnering and getting these really sharp students in high school, working with classes that really would like to be able to innovate and have them teach them. I mean, kids are so smart now. They're digital natives. And if we give them the opportunity to actually teach someone in college, can you imagine what that would be like?
That would be awesome because everybody's so afraid of AI right now. And a lot of universities are some of them having a little struggle making their policies around AI. But a lot of the younger people have fully embraced it now to see that tool is worth so much. So I said the other day, it's common knowledge. It's not the AI that's going to take away our jobs. It's the people who know how to use AI well who are going to have the jobs.
Yes.
Right. Well, the jobs aren't going away. It's just they're going to be given to the people with the greatest skills. And the skills include use of the technology.
Yes.
I mean, I loved Guy's comment. His statement is leverage what we have at our disposal.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I hear you saying. So how do we make that philosophy more prevalent? How do we support people in the pursuit of using the newest technology? Because there's always a resistance. People are afraid. And right, understandably so. They're afraid to try something new.
Well, one of the things I talked to Elliot Washer, he has a book called Learning to Leave or Leave to Learning, whether he's done all of those. But one of the things they talk about is advisories, internships, and apprenticeships. I think they need to look at another one. Another one is where the partnerships and that idea of developing the partnerships with K-12 and higher ed and business. And so looking at projects where they can all work together and build the skills with each other. So they're teams, because even project-based learning is still based around curriculum. It's not based around innovation. And so if we can look at pulling all these amazing people together and actually develop those teams, I just can't even imagine where it would go. I bet you the kids would be the leaders.
Well, we hope they would, because they have this youthful exuberance that a lot of us don't. So, in the college that you work at, Cori, how does somebody change that? You say you have to do it as a PowerPoint. You have to present it this way. Do professors come forward with new ideas? And
some do, and some need the prompting of educational technologists and instructional designers. These are specialists in the field that can help a faculty or adjunct develop their skill set, because I hate to say it, but no matter where you go, you have these professors. I've been doing it this way for a decade or for 2 decades. So why should I change? Like, we live in a new day and age. What was the best of this subject matter then might have changed and grown. We have new information, new research, new technology. So we need to incorporate that new technology in the classroom. And we have to get past the faculty who are so convinced that it's cheating. It's just new technology. It's just a tool. Tools help us get to the goal. And it's like, if you're doing an assignment, I've said this before too, if you're doing an assignment and it can be easily done by AI, that assignment is not worthy of that student nor that instructor.
Not worthy of the time. Yeah. So brilliant. I want to lean into something you said about partnerships and about, the community, the colleges, the K-12 all working together to improve the situation. We had a discussion not long ago about learner records and credentialing, and how do you have skills, you have abilities, and right now we use degrees as proxies of what those skills are. But how is innovation going to change what a learner record is and how we keep track of somebody's capabilities? I think it's a fascinating concept, because that's really your door opener, right?
Well, a lot of people that are fed up with the system are getting certifications. My sister's one who has learned all different types of database development and done so many things, never got a college degree. She's an executive in a really big, they're looking at the certificates that you're building your skills with, the durable skills that you can actually they call them transferable skills. The problem with, you might get a degree, but if you have a resume, you don't have the skills that you need. So maybe they need to combine it. And some of the universities and community colleges are really hurting right now. They don't seem to, kids aren't graduating, our kids aren't even going. They're going to become competitive with this type of certification. What if they combined it and then brought in those skills and use the kids? Give them those skills and then have them be like TAs and work with the professors that don't know how to do those. I've seen it happen. I just would like to see it more.
Right.
Our schools have a badging system, and when they actually study the badging system and how they awarded recognition for those skills, they realized we needed a department to keep constantly innovating, because skills aren't just static.
Yes.
So what is best practices today may not be best practices next year. So we developed a department to make sure that those skills and the badging stays updated.
Oh, I love that.
That's great.
I want to know more about that. Yes, I know.
That was your idea, right?
Good one, Cori.
Yeah. Well, the whole concept of a learner record or the CVs and resumes are outdated by the time you finish writing them. By the time you finish editing them, you've got more to add to them. And it would seem to me that part of the innovation is finding ways to make that more realistic, make that more valid, and use it.
Well, the ability right now to create your own CV online is like I have a link tree. So I put all my connections, and then I have websites, and I'm on social media, and then I try to connect them. I mean, this is what we need to teach. And we have to teach kids how to promote themselves. If they are going to be in this new market, they may have trouble finding a job if they don't have the skills, but they may not have the confidence to get the job. They have to build it so they shine. And that should be part of, I mean, to me, that should be part of any higher ed curriculum.
To build that confidence that a lot of them have with sharing their personal lives. So we have a lot of, I won't say young people, but it's not just a young people thing. They're so confident in sharing their personal lives, their vacation on TikTok and Instagram. They love to share their personal lives, but they don't have the same enthusiasm sharing their professional lives and their academic lives and their skills. So the same enthusiasm you put into sharing your vacation, why not share about a project you worked on, a community service thing you did, and what you gained from that?
Well, that should be part of actually what helps them. You're going to graduate from here when you do this, this, and this, and show off and tell us why you deserve this degree. I mean, come on. You can do it.
With the same enthusiasm.
I mean, that's the thing. We have kids that are, they're in trouble. And it's a real hard world, and everything costs so much. And they don't want to sleep on the parents' couch anymore or whatever. They want to have something on their own, but they don't have hope for the future because they don't see themselves owning a home, having a family. We got to do something. And that's why we have to innovate. And I brought it back.
Yes. Yeah. Well, how do we take the fact that 20 years ago there wasn't social media,
Mm-hmm.
and young people have leaned so hard, not young people, all people, they've leaned so hard into sharing their thoughts about personal things and opportunities into social media. How do we get that same energy about, changing, innovating on the professional and the work and the options for careers? How do we get that same energy there?
I think a lot of that will be helped with the building of confidence. And the students I've seen with the most confident is because they have relationships with their professors and educators and administrators who are seeing to the learning beyond high school, whatever, if it's vocational or if it's college or if it's military. They develop these mentor-mentee relationships and communicate with guidance and coaches who help build that confidence to, I can be myself, but I can also share the best of my knowledge, skill, and learning in a professional academic arena.
That's it. I'm telling you, that's exactly, because I was saying that coaching, mentoring, that personal touch of someone who really cares about me and that kind of thing is what all of them need. And I love that you said that.
Yes.
So where do you see this changing? What's going to happen? What do we need to do, and what's
Well, I think we need to have some models, and we need to be able to promote those. And let's go to Cori School and start doing it there.
Yeah.
And then we have models of how this is happening with the mentors and the process, and get it out there. Write about it, present, and share. Because that's the thing, is that right now, many professors are mired into not only continuing the same curriculum, but they are, they have to write and they have to research and they have all these other things that they don't have time to innovate. So we have to show them ways they can do it within their own models. We can do it.
There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
I think beyond K-12, we need to adopt some of those good things that are happening there, because you hear a lot about personalized learning and voice and choice of students. That needs to be carried over into higher education and vocational training, because if a student, regardless of age, sees what they're learning, their knowledge and skills relate to their real life, their everyday, their authentic selves, then that creates more enthusiasm to be involved in growing and elevating that knowledge and skill and experience.
I wrote 2 books on personalized learning,
Yeah.
and then my other 2 books are on your purpose.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know why I didn't do more with Cori. she's right up my alley.
Well, you have a
can't-
5th book in your future, and it
Yes,
sounds
I
like
do.
Cori is
I
part of
mean,
that.
that whole idea of making people have value and see they're heard and seen and valued for who they are, and give them the opportunities and the support and resources they need to become the best they can be. How we do that, we need to kind of look at the system and do what you mentioned, and share those wonderful things that they're doing, and tell them that you got to share it out. Share it out.
In this discussion, one of the things that's coming very clear to me is that innovation isn't about the new tool. It isn't about the new capability. It's about how it's being adopted, used, and leveraged by individuals. So, like good teaching practices, technology doesn't change good teaching practices. It just gives you a different tool to use in the process. And innovation isn't really about forcing people to do things differently. It's about allowing or empowering them to take advantage of it.
Elevating the experience.
And
Yeah.
not giving them agency, telling them they can have their own agency. They can own and drive their learning, and if they're passionate about whatever their purpose is, and they know who they are, it's okay. A lot of kids, I mean, even some adults, I ask them about themselves, and they don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
They've been told this is who they're going to be and the way they were going to go, and that's sometimes what happens. And when you get them to college, they're like, "Oh, I got into this major. It's not really what I wanted," kind of thing. And then you realize, let's find out who you really are.
Sure.
And really work with them.
What's the biggest risk? What's the danger here with this change?
They might find who they really are and decide that college is not the right thing. That's the danger for higher ed. It might be the same thing with K-12, is that they might get frustrated in a system they're in and have trouble because they're misfit. That doesn't fit for them. So it's a matter of, to me, the system is tough. It's still, not letting you kind of go and become who you are. So helping try to change the system would be great, but that's a big thing. That's a
Right.
I think that was a really good question. And I think the biggest risk, and I'm thinking of K-12 and higher ed, is having to acknowledge the inequities, because technology can bring you so much, but everybody still doesn't have access to the tools and the resources and the qualified educators to get everybody on a level of equity. So many people confuse equality and equity still. And while people are arguing, oh, AI is right, wrong, whatever, it's here. And we have to deal with it, and we have to make sure that everybody has access to the tools, knowledge, and skills that will make them a valuable citizen to whatever community they decide to be a part of, whether that is academia or vocational, military, etc.
And add a mentor and resource support, so they feel like they're not left behind because someone, they don't know how to even fight with the system or work with it.
Yes, so they have a seat at the table and a voice in the conversation.
Well, I like to think about change. Change has lots of challenges, but there's also opportunities in there, and to address the challenge of equity. When you innovate, I think it's a great opportunity to level the playing field, to give opportunities to everybody that didn't have them before. I was talking yesterday on a panel that I was on, and the question came about, what's the best opportunity for AI, or what do you see changing with AI, or what's the risk? I think the risk is not bringing equity back, using that to get equity, because you think about changes and there's benefits, but there's also compounding benefits. So if you're able to equalize the playing field and give everybody access to things, you're also bringing all the things they can contribute into the fold. And I think it's a real compounding effect. So innovation, kind of bringing some of these thoughts together. In my mind, what I'm hearing is innovation isn't just about what we create, but it's about empowering the people to use it. It's about leveraging those changes for the positive because they are compounding. I think you make a change here, you have to focus on the places that will also get subsequent changes. When we look at innovation and the pace of innovation, everybody keeps saying it's happening faster. Do you see that? Do you see that in your daily life?
I see that I need more skills. I mean, I'm not a young person, but I'm really hungry for knowledge and to know. And what I'm doing now is reaching out to some kids to help teach me. And that's my thing right now is I realize I can't keep up unless I actually know a little bit more, or I go to some of these conferences, or I read some more books and do some of those things. That's the only way I'm going to go make it.
I think it's changing pretty quickly, but it is not any individual's responsibility to be master of all.
Yeah.
We have to cultivate the skills and practice of making connections within your community and outside of your community, because you're only as strong as your network. So even if you don't know something or you don't have a particular skill or particular knowledge, you should be able to connect to a couple of people who might be able to connect you to a couple of people who do have the knowledge and skills that you're seeking.
Great. Well, I think, again, it comes back to the person. I like to try to take these conversations and summarize them, and I did a little bit of that before, but in reality, innovation isn't about what we're creating. It's about the people. It's about empowering the people to leverage those. It's about people taking that for themselves and building it into their lives and what they work with. And it's always good to talk about it. It's always good to kind of dig under the covers a little bit, and especially with some wonderful people that know so much about what they're seeing and how it's happening. So I want to thank both of you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I would also like to say that we're going to have access to the resources as part of everybody's the books that have been mentioned. Everybody's contact information will also be associated, and will also be included in that. So I thank you for joining us. Thank you for your thoughts, and until next time, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. ClassLink is proud to be the meeting place to facilitate these conversations. If you have a topic idea, send it to perspectives@classlink.com. To keep hearing our perspectives, be sure to follow us on Apple and Spotify, and subscribe to us on YouTube.